Hey yo, what's going on, world? Back at it again, man. Man, I hope everybody enjoyed their nigga day off or 4th of July weekend or whatever. I know I did. It was a very interesting weekend in regards to spirituality and knowledge and all that shit. Because man, when I tell you, I got to a zone this weekend, man. You know, that last bit of summer solstice energy, man, I ain't gonna lie. We gonna get into it though. I'm gonna start off, this gonna probably be a little series. I'm gonna have to, I know I started off with the music joints. I'm gonna go back to that, but I gotta get to the business on this one because it was some shit, man. So much shit came through this weekend. This was a powerful weekend, man. Channeling a lot of just, man, I just sit on the couch for like hours just. Actually, it kicked off. I picked up this one book in particular, which, like I said, I'll get into that later on, everything in order. And man, I got to reading that book, man, and deciphering metal. Man, that shit had me in the zone, I promise. And then on top of that, which I think I'm gonna kick this off with since today is the 5th. Y'all might not see this to the mall. I probably won't get the poster to the mall. I should have got my ass up earlier, but I had to recoup. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was in the zone this weekend, man. I'm talking about there was a Twilight Zone marathon from Saturday till this morning, and Twilight Zone, man, I ain't gonna even much lie. That I never watched it really when I was young. It was one episode I remember in particular, but I never really got into it. And then I said like 2018 or something like that. It was just one channel I had that was showing episodes or whatever. And I tapped into it then, and I was like, oh, that shit, and then Alfred Hitchcock, it was some bad motherfuckers right there, man. That shit was a part of the whole weekend too, man, because it was like, Twilight Zone, the motherfuckers dropped some science on that shit, and they knew what they was doing by doing that marathon this weekend, because it all corresponded, man. We're gonna get into it though. Even the whole 4th of July thing, I know that everybody it's like, oh, we don't celebrate 4th of July because we wasn't free when they celebrate their independence and all that. And I understand that aspect of it. But see, what I've come to realize is that whatever they did or whatever happened, the day they chose the 4th of July, that day is not important because of what America's quote-unquote forefathers so-called did or whatever happened with them. They chose to celebrate their victory or whatever you want to call it on that day because they knew that this was an important time. And all the motif of 4th of July, from the fireworks, the red, white, and blue, and all that shit is science. That's our shit. So man, I need to find my shit, man. I be fucking up these goddamn papers. I need to give me a folder. But like I said, I'm gonna make it my business to go ahead and go hard and try to see if I can hit y'all at least 1 or 2 a day until I get off all this shit, man. Cause it was going down this weekend, man. I really enjoyed myself, and I didn't do shit really, but sit on that goddamn couch, and that's just how powerful the shit that I was picking up on was. Like, I didn't go nowhere. You know, my homeboy came through smoking a little something with a nigga and all that shit, and you know, the regular getting jiggified, even the beer I was drinking, which I didn't even get to finish that motherfucker. Even that shit. Yeah, I'm gonna show everything when as the series go on, man. I'm looking at the can right now. All this shit this was a fucking weekend for the books for me. You know what I'm saying? You know, spirits coming through and shit. But that's just how powerful it was, man. It felt like I had a good time, not just, you know, and I didn't even really get to get in. That's how deep this shit was. I was watching the Twilight. I was sitting there watching episode after episode, or in front of the TV, watching the Twilight Zone, and reading this one book in particular, and that book had me gone. I'm talking about, I'm periodically picked what that was. Saturday night, I really went hard with the book. But I was looking up at Twilight Zone, but I was thinking so much, it got to the point where I was just in the zone, man. I ain't gonna lie. But you know, I couldn't even get, you know, I lock in on the Twilight Zone sometime for a good minute, but then my mind was moving so quick, man. It was just like, yeah, I can't even explain it. It was popping off though, man. It was really popping off. So one of the things I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go back. I know I did the Formation of the Earth, Birth of the Sun series or whatever, which was, in my opinion, I pretty much broke down the creation, or how the universe, the physical universe, came into fruition quite thoroughly, if you ask me. A teensy tad bit rushed, but not to any degree of making it not a good series of videos. And not even necessarily rushed. It's just I guess the format I had to put it in. In so many words, I guess you can look at it as I just laid the skeleton down. I gave you a good general understanding of it, of how everything came to fruition. So now what I'm gonna be doing is going back and showing you other things, or basically going back and breaking down certain parts of it and showing you certain details that describe the creation process that I get from my studies or whatever. And it's to the point now, like, it's like damn everything I read brings me back to that. But we're gonna get into that, man. The Twilight Zone thing. Bad motherfucker, man. Like I said, I caught a couple episodes back in 2018. But now I ain't gonna lie, I'm a big fan of that shit, because they was dropping some science in that shit, man. Which leads to what I'm speaking on today. Today being the 5th. I guess I'll share one episode with y'all that stuck out. I ain't gonna lie, them motherfuckers was dropping the science, and this shit is from back then. They got, man, you gotta watch that shit, preferably high. But anyway, it was one episode where they had this dude on there, or white guy, whatever, he was like in a park or something. My homeboy was sitting there, and I think I had started looking at my phone, and then I heard he was like, "Damn, that nigga finna kill himself or something." So I look back up at the TV. It's a man, an old man or whatever, next to a statue with a gun in his hand, and the statue was a picture of an old man sitting down, and it had his name on the bottom of the statue. It said Horace Mann, Horace Mann, Horace Mann, Horace Hayru the Christ or whatever, man, Christ man or whatnot, or Christ mind, or however you want to put it. So when he said that, I looked up. I see a dude with the gun, and I get the statue, and I seen Horace Mann. As soon as I seen Horace Mann, I said, "Oh, here you go. It's happening. It's happening." Now my partner, he not really conscious, so I broke it down to him, but he didn't really know what catching on. So I said, "Up, let me check out. Let me lock in on this one." So I'm looking at the shit. You know, it's like I say, he had the scene with the gun in his hand, with the statue. My homie was like, "Man, what, you finna kill himself or something?" I was like, "I don't know." I look up at it, and then it like go to another scene, like a dream or whatever. So the next scene or whatever, the next phase they go into is him and it's 7 other dudes. 7 into 1, that's the 8. The arm Kimmon, you know what I'm saying? Star Sirius with the 7 Elohims following the trail behind them. But the way the scene was, it was a professor or some a professor or whatever, and the way the scene was set up, he was right here with the 4 dudes, right, with 4 guys right here. And it was like 3 other dudes right here, or whatever. And after I was explaining to my home, I was like, man, really, them 4 dudes are supposed to be 2 men, 2 women. And them 3, cause they represent the, they represent basically, Osiris, Soot, Neptys, and Isis or whatnot. And then the 3 is the Trinity, man, woman, and child. That's the you know, like I said, we do the 7 all together. It's the series with the 7 Elohims, and then but the way like I said, the way they had the 3 right here and the 4 right here with the professor right here, or I guess he was supposed to be Horus or whatever, or that's who they had him playing. I guess you want to call it that. But so when at the 4 right here, you count all of them together, that's the 8. But then the way they had the 3 right here and the 4 right here, I started doing the math. I'm like, okay, you got the professor who's the 1, then you got them as the 1 Christ energy or whatever. The 4 represent the 4 cardinal points, or the 4 brothers of Jesus. When you read about Jesus in the boat when he went fishing, he went fishing with 4 of his brothers or whatever, the 4 oarsmen, or the 4 paddlers, which we don't get into all that. So I guess the nigga did kill himself or something or whatever, or basically what it represented was when he was out there with the gun by the statue, that was Osiris. That was him in the Osiris state. You got Osiris, representing the death or whatever, or the resting heart, or the father who gets murdered and resurrected. You had him with the gun as the father, and then you had the statue of Horace Mann symbolizing the Hayru, or the resurrection or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's like Western science right there too, because it's like the when the sun set on the west during the summer, when the sun set on the west, after the sun goes down, Sirius, star system Sirius rises up right above, right on the west too. So it's like the sun going down or going under the west, the horizon of the west representing soot. Osiris sinking beneath the horizon, representing Osiris going into the casket and dying or whatever. But as soon as he goes into the underworld, star system Sirius rises up in the western sky, representing the resurrection. So you got the sun going down, then you got Sirius rising up as the resurrection. As the Osiris goes down, Sirius rises up as the same way Horus rose up as the resurrection or whatever of the Father. So I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, man, I broke it down to him. He was like, ah, man, what you talking about, man? But I was like, shit, nigga, that's the 4 brothers. You know what I'm saying? Him being the 1, that's the 5. And then you got the 3 over here. And the 4, this is how we knew he had died, because when they showed him with the gun, they didn't show what happened. They just kind of went, went to the next scene or whatever. And the 4 dudes, each one of the 4 dudes stepped up to him and was saying that they had died. And after that, they was telling him everything that they had learned from him. So the first dude stepped up, said everything he learned. The second dude stepped up, said everything he learned. The third dude stepped up, said everything he learned. Now the 4th dude is when it got kind of scientific for real. Cause when he stepped up, he said, he said his name, he was like, I'm such and such. The 4th in the 4th form. 4 is the number of form. That's the number of physical reality, the physicality. The cross is a square. Christ on the cross represents the soul crucified, or the soul within the physical body. The 4, you put your legs together and you stretch your arms out. Yeah, 1, 2. Well, you got your 1, 2, 3, 4 legs or whatever. And what else? The square caskets or rectangles, which are just long squares, 4 corners. But it represents form, because when we manifest on the planet in a physical form, it's basically your soul or the spiritual aspect of yourself, which vibrates extremely higher than physical matter. When it transforms into the physical body and encases itself into the physical body, which is the cross, like I just said, it's forming the it's basically form when the vibratory rate slows down and brings things into a more physical state. It's squaring it. A square is the foundation that things are built on, 4 corners, the level square or whatever. 360 degrees. So square it off. That's the square circle. So he was like in the 4th form. He was like, I'm the 4th one in the 4th form or something like that. So what he was saying was, I represent the physicality, form, which 4 is the letter of Isis and Osiris as well. It's all 4 of them, but when he said he was in a 4th form, see, he was supposed to be it's supposed to be the 2 men, 2 women. He was supposed to be Isis or one of the women, because the women are synonymous with physicality, the physical world, the physical earth, Mother Earth and all that. So I'm watching this shit, man. I say, yeah, this is some bad shit right here. And so you got the 4 and the 1, that's the 5. And then when he go over to the 3, it's the Trinity. The 3 plus him being the 1, you know what I'm saying, representing, and then and really the 4 and the 3 is 7. With the professor, he would be the 7 and the 1. He'd be all 7 and 1 or whatever. So I found that interesting, the 4 and the 1, because which we're gonna get into it with this right here. Yeah, it was getting real groovy this weekend, man. I ain't gonna even much lie. So that was a good one right there. And I ain't gonna lie, most of the other ones I didn't even get into. My mind, I was thinking about so much and I was building so much in my mind, I couldn't even really, that's all that was on my mind. It's just the science and shit that was coming through. So, I guess with that being said, we'll go back to the formation of the earth thing. Cause I'm gonna take y'all back to the beginning and go a little bit more into detail about certain spots I want to speak on. That I spoke on everything already, but I'm gonna go back and put the microscope on certain points. See, when I was doing it at first, I was trying to make sure I got as much as everything I can get out. So now I can go back and go to what I actually put out and put the microscope on it in certain aspects of it, deal with certain aspects of it more exhaustively or whatnot. So yeah, man. But this weekend, let me see what this time looking like. This weekend was off the chain, man. I don't know what y'all was doing, but I was on some shit, man. This shit was out there. This shit is real in the field, man. It's really real. I already knew it was real, but this shit is real. So what else I want to talk about? Yeah, so we talking about the square. So we talking about the 4 and the 1. The 4 and the 1, which is 5. Now, when you look at certain architecture, different religions have different forms of architecture, or different styles, I should say. And this is all based off all the old masons or whatever, the actual stone builders from back in the game who was building all the cathedrals and mosques and all that. But if you look at Islamic temples and stuff like that, they deal with the domes heavy. That's because Islam is just like the Old Testament, which is one and the same. The Quran and the Old Testament pretty much one and the same, but Islam is a moon religion. Hence the dome. You got the architecture is a square with a dome on the top. The square symbolizing the square, and then you got the dome on the top symbolizing the circle. A square is 4. A circle is 360 degrees. Now with the dome, it'll be 360 degrees round, but far as going lateral, it'll be 180 or whatever, because you know it's just a half or whatever. But it's so you got 360 degrees sitting on the square, which is 4. That's 364 degrees. If you and then if you take the you put a dot on top of that circle, that will be 1. The symbol for the symbol for 1 is It's a circle with a dot in the middle. It's my name, capital S, the 19th letter, knowledge born. AI. What's AI? Allah. Allah in Islam, translated into hieroglyph, or if you take the Allah Kemet would be Asar, the A, A-S-A-R. The 9 being the I, the 9th letter of the alphabet. I, the Allah I, the I star. You know what I'm saying? 9 being born, knowledge born, knowledge 1 plus 9 equaling 10, knowledge cipher, which is knowledge complete, or knowledge writing exact. 1 plus 0 equals 1, which brings you back to the oneness, the one, knowledge, know the ledge. So, I said all that to say, it comes back to this. Now, a circle, when you measure time, when you measure a year, they say a year is 360 degrees, or 360 degrees, or 360 days that it takes the Earth to spin, rotate around the sun. And they say the ancients added 4 or 5 days for the gods. So the 360 is the circle, and then you got 1 dot in the middle. So we'll put it like this. 1, the symbol for 1 is a circle with a dot in the middle. The circle around the dot is 360 degrees. If you count that dot with the 360 degrees, that'll be 361. You know what I'm saying? And if you got that circle in the form of a dome sitting on top of a square, then that square, the number that corresponds to the square is 4. So you have your 360 degree circle sitting around the 1 dot in the middle, sitting on top of the 4 corners. That'll give you 365 degrees. Now you probably hear a bunch of people, Masons and all that shit, talk about the squared circle, the true ashlar and all that shit. Standing on the square, standing level, being level or even or whatever, and all that shit. This is what they're speaking of. That's architecture talk, because when you build, you have to build on 4 corners that are even. You know what I'm saying, or level or whatnot. If I say on the level, while a nigga be like, you on the level with me, like you shoot straight with me, woo woo. So now that's all Osirian. I'm gonna break it down. Like I just told you, Osiris square, the cross and the square is the same thing. The cross, Christ being crucified on the cross, a cross being 4 different points or 4 corners, and representing the square. Also caskets being square, 4 corners. Osiris being put in the chest and threw in the water and all that shit. It's all Osirian or whatever. Osiris represented the crucifixion, the cross being a symbol of the crucifixion or whatever. It all goes hand in hand. So we'll go back right now, take y'all back to this to the picture show, baby. So let's see what we rocking with. Get up on it, and flown it. Show them that you want it. What we gonna deal with first? I'm gonna go here first with the phone. All right. I guess I hold the camera. Okay, so we dealing with this here. Don't mind this here. I should have drew it over. I need to draw some more of these pictures, some better pictures for you. I ain't the best artist, so y'all have to work with me, use your imagination and shit. But this is the This is the world or the spiritual realm prior to the physical world coming into fruition. This all black. You know what I'm saying? This all darkness. This all light. Everything consists of two aspects, the masculine and the feminine. What's the feminine? What all falls into femininity? Let's go through it. You got yin and yang. Yin is the darkness. Yin is the feminine. Yin is darkness, the moon, passivity, receptivity. Remember that word, because I'm gonna take y'all something. We're gonna get a little psychological with this part right here. Receptivity, peace, stillness, listening, drawing or pulling in, you know, things of that nature. And then we shoot down into the masculine. This is all light. I want y'all to imagine this darkness. I know it's just on this page, but just imagine this right here would be the point. Let's just say this is darkness. This is one part of the darkness. Now let's say from here all the way this way, all the way that way, all the way up, and all the way down. Well, all the way up, because down is a light, but all the way up. Just imagine that as infinite darkness. So everything above here, including this, but everything above here, going to the left, going to the right, is infinite darkness. That would be the triple, you call it triple stages of darkness or whatever, which is you would have everything outside this piece of paper going that way and going that way and going that way would be one level of darkness. And then when you get to this piece of paper and you get in between here, this would be a part of the darkness that's a little bit more concentrated than all the darkness out here and outside of it. And then this point right here in the middle would be the most concentrated, coagulated, condensed part of the darkness or whatever. Yang is also, yin is also melanin, blackness, absorbing. So this, when you get right here, this is when the darkness gets more, it's darkest and densest and most condensed. So when you go to the light, what all falls under the light? Well, under the masculine or the yang. The yang is masculinity or men, just like the darkness is woman. The masculinity is light, the sun, emitting or giving. Like I said, a woman represents, or the woman, the feminine, femininity is synonymous with receptivity. Masculinity is synonymous with giving off. Now we're gonna stop right here. I'm gonna take y'all somewhere on a psychological level and show you why you have to be, show you how people lack a balance of the two. So if you're a man, you're predominated by your masculine half, which means that part of your goal here on earth is activating your feminine side, which are balancing out your feminine side with your masculine side. You're gonna always, as being a man, you can be predominantly masculine because you're a man, so that's a given. But by you being predominantly masculine, you have to put an effort into, or some type of conscious attempt in some form of fashion, even if it's just in the understanding that you have a feminine side. So and you're predominated by your masculine side. So you have to balance that out. You have to learn how to get in tune with your feminine side. Not no gay shit. We got to preference that. That's not what we're speaking about right here. We're talking about high science here. So that is not what we're talking about. You know, and I ain't knocking them, but I'm just at the preference that. But and it's the opposite with the women. Now, with the women, you're predominantly feminine. So you have to balance out or be in tune with your masculine side. Now, I'm gonna show you something. Now, women. See, if I was to just out of the blue say women are greedy, women are greedier than men, you would say, oh, yes, that's your opinion, or this nigga just talk, or you might get mad or whatever. But I'm gonna give you the science on this shit, because I've been studying this shit all my life, studying people, social studies. So I'm gonna give you a piece of my mind real quick. The better way to put that would be to say that women are more prone or have more potential for being greedy than men. Why? Because what is greed? Being greedy or greed is taking or receiving. It deals with receiving or taking, you know what I'm saying, or eating or whatever. So on one hand, when they say that men are the providers or whatever, or men supposed to give women things or do things for women, that's true. You know, but here's the thing about that though. Most women, and especially in the society we live in today, we've been trained to we're not taught to balance out our two halves or whatever. So, you know, back when we ran the world, or when we was doing things our way, we had certain rites or passages that prepared us for these type of things or whatever. That's why society was was at one point in time better than it is now, probably unimaginably better, considering everything we've been through, especially as black people, you know. So when I say that the women have more potential to be greedy, I'm finna break it down. If let's say you're a woman, right? Which means you're predominantly feminine, which means that you're predominantly the part of you that you function from the most, that you naturally function from the most, is the feminine part of you, which is the part of you that's all about receiving or whatever. Now let's say you're not tuned with your masculine half. If you're not tuned with your masculine self or the masculine aspect of yourself, then that means that you're not going to be in tune with the masculine aspect of the world around you. Or you're going to be out of whack with it. Or if you put it like this, if you disregard the masculine aspect of yourself, then of course you're going disregard or have a lack of consideration for your masculine counterpart on this planet. And I'm speaking generally. So so let's put it in regards of let's put it in within the context of relationships, or the relationship between men and women, or the black man and black woman, or whatever. A woman who's out of balance or out of whack with her masculine side, if she's denying the masculine part of herself or unaware of the masculine aspect of herself and not tuned with that part of herself, then when she deals with her counterpart, which is predominantly masculine, she's gonna have a lack of consideration for him. You know, so when it comes to things like receptivity will turn into greed. Why? Because you're not balanced. When you balance yourself out, what you doing? That means you get in tune with your masculine aspect. And what does the masculine aspect do? The masculine aspect is a giver. So if you're not in tune with your masculine half, your whole conversation or your whole thing is gonna be gimme, 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 gimme. That's where that concept of the gimme girls come from. A gimme girl. You know what I'm saying? So this is why you have women running around here today talking about, oh man, need to pay, supposed to pay all the bills. As if we living in 1950 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, these are the women who will have a job and have a husband or have a man who has a job too, but would convince the dude with being cool with him paying all the bills, and then when it's all said and done, after he finished with spending his check, he ain't got no money to do little personal things he like to do or whatever. And then the money she makes, she pockets it all and has a whole lot of money to do personal shit with. So when she out partying with her girls and buying purses and buying this and buying that and all that old shit, and this nigga just sitting at home, you know, whatever, cause he can't do shit, cause he paid all the goddamn bills and still giving her money. I've seen this shit. You know what I'm saying? With my own eyes. That's why I'm citing it as a case study. So and that on the flip side, that would be a man. That's an example of a man who is not in tune with his feminine side. We automatically we're naturally predominantly masculine, so we give us by nature. But if you don't have if you don't have no regards to your feminine side, then you're not going you're gonna always be giving. It's gonna be easy for you to get circles ran around you because you always giving off, emitting. You know what I'm saying? Emit means to give off or whatever. So and you're gonna keep giving until you ain't got shit, and you're gonna be depleted, or you're gonna feel empty in some form or fashion. So you have to be in tune with your feminine side, so you can balance it out and know when to give and know when to take. You know when so you can know when it's time for you to ask for something or for you to get gifts. That's why I say we you know, when you look at society today, that's how you know that a vast majority of and we all fuck, don't get me wrong, it ain't just women, but because I can go into shit with the men too, but which I am, but that's how you know. Excuse me. That's how I know my analysis of how things are working around here is not off point, because I see it, you know, and I'm not, you know, and I understand. I believe, you know, for example, just like with the what I was just saying about the paying all the bill shit. It's like, first and foremost, you need to recognize where the fuck you living at. You know, we not in the 1940s or whatever, 50s no more, and you know, it's a new day and age, especially for black people. You got niggas out here struggling to take care of their own goddamn self, and then you got women out here talking about oh, if a nigga can't pay all my bills, and you know, like I actually heard a woman say out of her own mouth, when somebody suggested that or insinuated that she should give a man some money or shit, and she acted like that was like the worst thing in the world. I'm talking about, she like, what? Give a nigga some, I bet not. I'm like, oh my God, hold up, God damn it. So you mean to tell me that you can sit here and demand men do all these things and feel like, or you supposed to feel, or you can sit here and feel like a man is obligated to give you his money, and at the same time feel like you don't owe him shit, or you shouldn't give him nothing? You know how selfish that is. People think, like, I be in my mind like, do you ever just sit down in the mirror and look at yourself and question your own fucking mentality towards life and people? You know, we all go through our struggles, and you know, we ain't all no good two shoes and shit, but some motherfuckers don't even try to put their best foot forward in regards to being a decent person at the least. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at this shit, man, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna give you some game about women. A woman can be rich to the point to where she got all she ever wanted and all she ever needed and will have it set for life, and still will be sitting here saying, oh, I gotta find me a man with money. Now I'm gonna show you how stupid that is. First and foremost, it's a social thing. You know, hell, you got motherfuckers who don't got money, broke hoes who feel like they should be with a nigga with money. So a woman who got money, or is rich, or whatever you want to call it, with them, I think it's not even cause the women who, like I said, cause a woman that's running around talking about, I can't fuck with no broke nigga. A nigga gotta have some money, fuck with me, woo woo. Well, first thing come to my mind is, bitch, is you broke? Cause if you broke, that's what it sounds like. Cause it sounds like to me, you broke. So you need to find you a nigga you looking for a nigga that's gonna compensate for your brokenness. And maybe you not necessarily broke like that, but if you base if first and foremost, finance, when it comes to, and like I said, if you're gonna be a hoe, be a hoe. That's not sugarfoot with this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're gonna be a hoe, be an honest hoe. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of hoe tendencies going on. Draped as feminine wiles, or you know, dressed up as a man supposed to do this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like basically taking advantage of your femininity. So when you say a man is a provider and a men are givers, it's true to all the way down to the science of it. But don't take advantage of that. See, like I say, if you're not in tune, if you're in tune with your masculine half, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm a woman and I like roses and I want candy on Valentine's Day and I like gifts and I think a man should buy me a gift out of the blue here and there, which is all fine and dandy. That's a woman, right? You know, but then her masculine, but by her being in tune with her masculine side, she's gonna, for one, be fair, and two, give to him too. You know, give him money sometime, surprise him with a gift sometime. Why? Because that's called reciprocation. You know. And it ain't, and not in a sense of even trying to keep score or something with the shit. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you both dealing with each other with equality and fairness, then we don't have to keep score. You know, what we do for each other physically is a byproduct of the love. It's supposed to be a byproduct of the love you have for each other. Gifts and money and finances and all that shit, that's supposed to be a fucking byproduct. So when you look at a woman who says take a rich woman who don't need a man financially, still talking about, I gotta find me a man, he gotta have money, he gotta be a six-figure nigga, woo woo. You really stupid, because when you limit yourself, see, You don't need no you got enough money to find a nigga and take and who don't have money and take care of him and you with no sweat for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? So when you thinking like that in your journey within trying to find a man, you limiting yourself. You making it harder to find. Or when you put that as first on your list, or when that's on your list when that's listed as the utmost importance on your criteria list, and you already got money, you being crazy. You supposed to use the fact that you don't need a man for money to make your journey easier. That's one less thing you got to worry about. So when you fuck around and bump into a nigga who the man of your dreams on a mental level, or or in regards to who he at, or regards to who he is, in regards to his character and integrity as a man, when you meet him and you really like the nigga, you ain't got to worry about you like, well, if he don't have if he got money or not, cause you got it. So if you like him and he ain't got it, but he's a good person, or you think he's a good dude, well shit, help him get some more. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to saying, well, I'm a rich bitch, I'm gonna go find me a rich nigga. And I ain't saying you can't, not saying you got rich niggas got some good niggas that's rich or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not counting nobody out. I'm just trying to give you some game. So you will walk around here, when you don't need a man for money, that's one thing you can check off your list and make your shit easier, if you get what I'm saying. But I just cited that to give you a glimpse into how women think, and how not being in tune with your masculine aspect or your masculine half reflects through the way you deal with men in regards to dating or courting or whatever you want to call it. I ain't saying, now I'm not saying you gotta go just be with fuck with a dusty nigga who's a fucked up nigga. I ain't saying that. Now basically I guess what I'm trying to say is, people need to go back to valuing the way they valuing the people that they deal with based off of who they are as people, their character. You know what I'm saying? Even shit, Martin Luther King told you that shit. Judge me based on the content of my goddamn character. We'll deal with the rest of that shit later. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the receptivity thing, it makes women, by women being predominantly feminine and receptivity being synonymous with femininity, women have to watch it, because if you're not in tune with your masculine side, you're not gonna it's gonna have a negative effect on either you or the people you dealing with, or one of this, or both. I just found that interesting. You know what I'm saying? So when we sit here and wonder why Father's Day isn't popping as Mother's Day, and Valentine's Day is just about the women getting gifts, and Mother's Day it's the biggest splash, but when Father's Day roll around, it's just like, get that nigga a tie and tell him go to church. You know what I'm saying? When you look at what I'm breaking down to you right now, you will see why it's like that. Men, we are predominantly masculine, so it's easy for us to get caught up in being taken advantage of, or giving, because a lot of men are not in tune with their feminine side. Another example of a man who's dealing with the problems of what women always say. I want a man to listen. Men don't listen. One of the reasons why that's a big problem amongst us is because most men are not balanced out. So when you're dealing with listening is being quiet and receiving information. Talking is being masculine and active and giving or emitting or transmitting or communicating or sending thoughts or talking or whatever. So that's why a lot of niggas like to talk over people, and we all do it. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes you be talking to somebody and they'll say something that strike a nerve, or they'll say something that triggers you, and you be like, yeah, man, cause see, right in the middle of their story, be like, yeah, cause I know what you're talking about. Woo, woo, woo. And, I do it sometimes too, but I'm conscious of this shit, so I be catching myself. So when I'm talking to somebody and they say something to get me excited or make me or something that spark a thought to make me talk, I go, now stop. Like, hold on, my bad, finish the story. But what you saying? Woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? And hold that thought until it's my turn to talk or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's an art to communicate. People don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? And even sometimes when you're talking and a person does be quiet, that doesn't necessarily mean they listening. Because you can be quiet, you can verbally be quiet, but then after you verbally be quiet, when I'm talking to you, you have to stop the chatter in your mind so you won't be distracted by the chatter in your mind, and you can be more focused on what the person that's talking to you is telling you, and you can absorb that shit and get what the fuck is going on. That's why I don't like arguing. It's like, on no levels really. You know what I'm saying? We all have our, unless it's about some, certain shit, we have fun with it. Who your favorite rapper? My favorite rapper is him. Oh, this nigga better than him. It's cool to a certain degree. We had, you arguing out of fun, you know what I'm saying? Or you have a disagreement. Well, I feel like this and woo. But ultimately, when it comes to serious shit or bullshit or whatever, I ain't interested. But yeah, man. So I be trying to tell niggas that, my partners, I be like, look, man, you gotta stop. I be trying to explain shit to them, and they be steady talking over a nigga or hogging the conversation, or trying to hog the conversation, or hogging the conversation. I had to stop nigga. Look, bro, you need to listen. You know what I'm saying? Conversation go two ways. You did, unless you teaching. You know what I'm saying? And even then, it's still, but that's why I say it's an art to conversation. And sometimes I be, but that's why when it happens now, I know why it happens. I can tell you why it happens scientifically. Nigga, you need to get through with your feminine side. Now I don't mean no gay shit. You need to balance that shit out so you can learn how to listen. So when a nigga talking, you won't be cutting the nigga off all the time and trying to talk over nigga and all that old shit because you out of whack with your feminine side, so you don't know how to be quiet, shut your mind down, and absorb and listen to information. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of problems could be solved if people knew how to do that or was interested in doing that. So but I was I'm gonna start back up tomorrow, but I was telling y'all about the 4 and the 1, the square. This right here, you see how this right here is the circle, the dome, the feminine aspect up here, and then you got square when this the top up here from a bird's eye view. All this right here would be the square that is sitting on top of a dark square. When you get to the circle is where the energy gets more concentrated. And then on the flip side, you would have a circle of light and then a square of light on the outside. So time going running out, but I'll be back.